This was the episode where Starfleet Academy found its stride while also delivering a near-perfect tribute to one of Star Trek's most popular characters. However, in the first 10 minutes of Episode 5, series Acclimation Mil, written by Tawny Newsome and Kirsten Bayer, it had me worried. The opening is frantic, tonally off, and features glitter vomit. Yeah, you heard me. However, once it settles into its actual story, this is the episode where this show commits to what it is, and alongside that delivers an emotional story no one expected. And here's why it works, where it stumbles, and what it reveals about what Starfleet Academy is trying to be. Benjamin Sisko is one of Star Trek's most beloved characters. However, we know that Avery Brooks isn't coming back to play him. In this episode, they do the next best thing to honor his legacy, and rather than bring back Benjamin, to the surprise and delight of fans, they bring back his son, Jake. And arguably, bringing back Cyril Lofton instead of Avery Brooks was the smarter choice. Sam is struggling with being an emissary, which is what ultimately drew her to the mystery of Benjamin Sisko. Both characters had the role of emissary thrust upon them, and with that brings certain expectations. Jake, who lost his father to this calling, is able to give the collateral damage perspective, the understanding that he developed for his father's destiny, and also articulate the humanity behind the myth that is Benjamin Sisko. How Benjamin was able to live a life of his choosing whilst also fulfilling his destiny. And that's what makes the emotional payoff land. Whilst I was initially intrigued by Sam's character, Episode 3 made her overpowered, and it killed my interest in her. If she could do everything, teleport all around the place, and learn everything in seconds, then where was the struggle? This episode fixes that. She was created to be an emissary to the organics, which means her entire existence is defined by someone else's purpose. And just like Sisko, she feels the weight of her responsibility, the expectations, and the knowledge that she's not in complete control of her origin or her destiny. However, she discovers that Sisko did make choices, such as marrying Cassidy Yates, that these were his own, and even when they contradicted what the prophets wanted. The episode uses that to show Sam that she can serve her people on her terms, not theirs. Her character has more depth through comparison rather than simply telling us that she is struggling. Her makers are like overbearing parents, demanding that she answer their questions, attend the classes that they want her to, and constantly report back to them. And when she learns that she can be what they need her to be and do what she wants to do, she's finally able to push back. Professor Isla being revealed as Dax is fan service, but it actually earns itself with purpose. First of all, she's played expertly by Tawny Newsome, who has all the subtle mannerisms of Jadzia. Next time you watch it, see the hands behind her back, the way she challenges and teases Sam. She is Dax, just hiding in plain sight. But Dax isn't just there for the fans. It is Dax who challenges Sam in the first place. When Sam is struggling with trying to solve the mystery, it is Dax who pushes her towards an answer. And it is Dax who ultimately provides Sam with that link to Jake and Benjamin. The opening sequence is a disaster. The frenetic pacing, the graphical overlays, the glitter vomit. If this was in Lower Decks, it would have worked, but not in a live action show trying to establish emotional stakes. Look, I understand what they're going for. Sam experiences the world differently as a photonic being, so her perspective feels chaotic, but executed so poorly, it nearly derails the episode before the actual story starts. God, I miss Captain's logs to start an episode, right? The B story with Kelrek is functional at best. The Doctor and Jet Reno deliver some genuinely funny moments during the dinner scene, but the entire subplot exists to give those characters something to do while Sam's story unfolds. It's the very definition of filler. Harmless, occasionally amusing, but ultimately forgettable. Oh, and yes, glitter vomits. I mean, that was a choice, a bad one, but a choice. There's a common criticism of Starfleet Academy I've come across, that these cadets are supposed to be the best of the best, but that they act like emotional, reckless kids. Good. Look, go and watch Tapestry, right? Picard was stabbed through the heart in a bar fight because he was arrogant and reckless at the Academy. Go and watch Rascals as well, by the way, because when the TNG crew is turned into children, they barely act differently to the children on the show because the show was terrible at writing young people as young people. Every flashback to Academy days in TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager involved characters talking about how foolish or wild they were. But the shows themselves only ever showed the competent, composed officers they became. Editing Rik here. In that little bit there, I said flashback. What I actually meant was anytime they are talking about being in the Academy. So my bad. Let's get back to it. Starfleet Academy is finally showing us what that messiness actually looks like. Like, these aren't seasoned officers. They're kids figuring out who they are, making mistakes, and growing into the kinds of people that will one day be trusted with starships. Every episode so far has focused on one cadet's growth, and every time they've become better, more thoughtful, closer to the officers we expect them to be. And this episode is where the show really commits to that idea. I mean, it's a young adult show, and it's also a Star Trek show. And those two things, they aren't contradictory. Look, despite its rough opening, this is the episode where Starfleet Academy found its confidence. Look, it's not quite as tight as episode 4's Vox and Excelso, but it does something harder. It takes one of Star Trek's most beloved characters, acknowledges his absence, and uses that absence to deepen a new character's journey. And it does give us Benjamin Sisko one last time. Not in character, but in legacy. And that's enough. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you do want to do that, if you want to join the discussion, you will need to be subscribed. So that does help me push towards 1,000 subscriber goal. So if you did like this, like it and subscribe. Thanks for watching.